Daniel Negreanu looks down to King 10 offsuit, a hand with decent equity in a four-way pot. Against him is Elizabeth Houston, who opens to a Queen Jack offsuit. Let's see who will the poker gods bless this time.
See that? Cheap flop.
Reynolds folds.
Also makes it easier to call this 3-bet from Tony G.
He raises to 2,000. Queen Jack for the cannon. She calls out of position. So does Daniel.
And like that, Williams built himself his own little pot odds.
He calls 2. 4-person party to the flop.
The flop comes 8 Queen Jack Rainbow, which is perfect for Houston. She is looking at top 2 pair with no danger of a flush and only a potential straight or a pocket pair being in her way. Her odds look great, but I think she should have bet harder before Negreanu had a chance to see more of the community cards.
I fold.
Thank you, William.
With the bet sizing being insufficient, even Tony G with his mid pair of jacks that have 2% equity will make the call. The turn delivers the 4 of spades. Things couldn't have been better for Houston. Pocket 4s would have probably folded, same as the pocket 6s from earlier, but she is still afraid of the flush and straight draw. That's why she fires a bet for a bit over half the pot, which I think will be yet again not enough to get Negreanu off his hand.
Daniel's checking out her stack, knowing she probably has something strong enough to lose it all if he does make the nuts.
Negreanu casually calls her $15,000 bet as predicted. But at least Tony G and his adventuristic jacks are gone. Now let's see what the turn will bring for Negreanu. And it is the ace. What a cooler this will be at the end.
That's Daniel's gin card, and this could get ugly for the cannon. I expect her to bet here.
Now she checks.
Somehow she knew to slow down. Daniel's got the nuts. Let's see how much he thinks she'll pay off.
50.
If Elizabeth has watched the show at all, she would know Daniel doesn't bluff raise the river very often. No one does.
If Elizabeth makes this call, she'll have less than 30,000 remaining in her stack.
Call.
Ouch.
She sees it.
Damn it.
She's in with 6s.
Jennifer Tilley kicks things off with pocket 6s. This is a decent hand to entertain a small raise with and see if luck is on your side.
Back on Arden. She calls the 3-bet as well, so 3-way to the flop. Oh my word, set over set and Griffin's flop top pair?
This is going to be bad for Griffin, but it's going to be real bad for Arden.
With the board that the flop delivers, everyone has something to bet about. But instead of that, Tilley and Cho decide to check. With that in mind, our weak top pair is trying to take control of the board by shooting a small bet of $2,500. Tilley is loving it because other than a set of kings, nothing else on the board beats her, and she would love to see this pot growing, so naturally she calls. Miss Cho, on the other hand, has a completely different plan. She is not waiting for the pot to grow. She is growing it herself. She does that by firing a $9,400 bet. Now Benger has a choice. Entertain this top pair, or realize the truth and just give up.
Why is he so serious? He's like a goober 99% of the time.
The angry man quickly decides to fold and not pursue the king. On the other hand, Tilley is more than happy to oblige Miss Cho by re-raising to $30,000 with her set of 6s.
Oh boy.
Jen re-raises $30,000.
At this point, Miss Cho should know the deep trouble she finds herself in, but still decides to go ahead and call on her set of 5s. The turn delivers the 9 of clubs, a card that is completely irrelevant to both of them. If I was in the position of Tilley, I would be betting pot here. What would you? Let me know in the comments below. I guess Tilley is not so happy about my jamming suggestion, so she decides to check here and wait for something magical on river. Same thing for Miss Cho. In her case, though, that is in her favor.
And Arden spikes a 1-outer. She's got quads. Meanwhile, Jenna's river to full house.
Buckle up, because this hand just went from pretty sick to absolutely bonkers.
People say patience is a virtue, but in Tilley's case, her patience came to bite her from behind. The river delivers the only card that can save Miss Cho, and that is the 5 of clubs. Now the only question is, will Tilley get baited by her now full house hand? Or will she read her for the quads Miss Cho has? And as we all thought she should do, Miss Cho goes.
There it is.
This is not good.
No, it sure isn't.
If Jen calls, this will be the biggest pot of the game.
Arnon, you have quads because I can't beat quads.
Does she know?
I don't think you have kings full. And I don't think you have nines full. You might have fives full.
That's a call.
Selps kicks things off with 8-7 suited. This is a hand that can be extremely powerful if the flop falls just right. So currently with McClung on the raise, she is just calling in order to see the pot as cheaply as possible. Herrings and Sanchez both limp call and pray for a good flop. Let's see what the dealer has in store for them.
10, 9, 6. What a flop. A straight flush draw for Vanessa Selbst and a set of sixes for Chris McClung.
With this type of flop, it will be a full-on battle of stacks. Vanessa with the straight on the flop and a potential straight flush is in prime position to extract value from the guys that think they have something to play for. And McClung with his set of sixes does exactly that. He bets more than $1,000, inflating the pot for Selbst.
Herring also flopped pretty huge, like his arms.
After this attempt at humor, Selbst and Herring limp into the turn, and Sanchez folds, which is kind of disappointing because Selbst could have extracted more value before the turn.
And there is the straight flush for Vanessa Selbst.
Now that Selbst has the straight flush, she is unbeatable and is begging that somebody raises. But unfortunately for her, I don't know if they read her or it was pure luck. Both McClung and Herring check, which Selbst then follows. The river delivers the 10 of clubs, which is the perfect card to bait McClung into thinking that having a full house is somehow the strongest hand on the table, which he 100% falls for and bets $4,000. He doesn't want anyone who isn't committed to the hand to be playing it. Selbst takes her sweet time in deciding what to do, which is understandable. When you know you have the best hand on the board, you have the tough decision to make on what size raise do you make to extract maximum value.
She moves all in. Herring folds, decision on McClung.
Herring understandably folds this wild all-in raise from Selbst, but I am wondering whether McClung will take the bait with this full house that he has.
It is bottom full house. Maybe he gets away.
I call.
No, he calls.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down on King-Queen offsuit. The table is four-way after Tony G opens, and Viffer, Negreanu, and Scott Seaver all come along. That matters because equities flatten in multi-way pots. Single pair hands lose value while nutted, and draw heavy holdings gain. Tony G's range from early position in this lineup still contains suited connectors.
This is room for everyone to keep improving.
I mean, the way you guys all play, there's certainly tons of room.
Yeah.
Scott calls.
I'm going to go with an old Hellmuth trick. Watch this, gentlemen. Check in the dark. How do you fade that? Seriously. Check in the dark. I don't even want to see what's coming.
Checking through is revealing. On this texture, the pre-flop raiser has a lot of one pair and gut shot combinations that dislike being raised by three players.
See how that worked? Because if I wouldn't have done that, they would have been more scared. My turn, right?
Daniel's still open-ended.
Did you qualify?
Yes. I've qualified pretty comfortably at this point. Question is, how much do I want to put in there?
You checked.
No, I'm not. I'm not, for sure.
You're not checking?
Yeah. If you're folding any bet, you can just do that now. I'm going to put in...
The turn is the 7 of spades, a huge card for Tony G's side of the range, and a bad one for capped checkbacks. Negreanu leads $3,600 into the field, a small sizing that targets folds from the Broadway airballs, and denies equity to Queen 9, 9-8, and the club draws. Scott's call with Queen Jack keeps dominated queens in, but the raise from Tony G to $14,000 is the pivotal data point. After a street of passivity, that raise is heavily weighted to value.
If I win the pot, I'll give you your money back.
Negreanu's call with King-Queen looks ambitious only if you ignore blocker logic. He removes the queen that completes Tony G's higher straight and retains outs to the ace or 9 to make his own. Scott correctly recognizes he's in kicker jail and releases.
Wow, that was a big sweat.
Took a long time. That speech really got him.
He made a big laydown just now.
The river is the 9 of diamonds. Range-wise, it's a dagger for Tony G. His made straight from the turn remains a straight, but Negreanu's King-Queen now upgrades to the higher straight. When Negreanu fires $35,000, the story is polarized between exactly that high straight and bluffs that bricked clubs or random Queen X that tried to push Tony G off a one-pair hand.
Are you also offering my $4,800 back if you...
Tony calls and Daniel wins a $100,000
I
pot.
had the nuts on the turn. Wow, well done.
Felt like...
Ben Donnelly kicks things off with pocket eights. This is a hand that can be extremely powerful, especially in a heads-up match. With 7 million already in the pot, Bendinelli can extract a lot more value.
Oh boy, we got a set of 8s for Bendinelli.
Oh no.
Top pair for Guerrero.
With Guerrero's weak check, Bendinelli can now completely take over the pot. The only question is how big of a bet he makes. So Guerrero stays and makes the pot bigger. Bendinelli is not looking to let Guerrero see a cheap flop and fires a 2.5 million bet. That is almost a third of the pot. But with the top pair on the flop, Guerrero is not looking as if he will back down. He doesn't disappoint and calls Bendinelli's bet. This pot is getting enormous.
Turn is a
Oh,
jack.
wow.
Oh, no.
What a setup.
Oh, such a cold deck.
Cold deck city. Guerrero covered.
With an insane amount of luck, Guerrero pulls a third jack that completes his jack trips. This completely turns the game on its head, but only in Guerrero's head. Bendinelli is now sitting comfortable on a full house and is looking to extract even more value. Bendinelli is completely aware of how strong of a position he now finds himself in. That's why he fires a $5.5 million bet that is there to prevent weaker hands from playing for the river and maybe dissuade stronger opponents with weak mental game. But fortunately for Bendinelli this time around, Guerrero is anything but a poker player with weak mental game. He is completely unaware of the kind of trap he is walking in and confidently calls the enormous bet from Bendinelli.
River.
Oh
The
my
board pairs, but it's the 8.
No!
It's quad
No.
8 for Bendinelli.
Wow.
This is unbelievable. This is the coldest of decks. It doesn't get any colder than this, Maria.
I'm glad you got a sweatshirt for this hand, Nick.
Insane.
The turn delivers another 8, which completes the quads for Bendinelli, which I can't believe I am saying again in this video, but is even luckier than Guerrero's jack. Now Guerrero is first on the move. He has a big choice ahead of himself, and I am starting to believe, based on his previous ones, that he will make the wrong one. And the wrong one he does. He fires a slightly smaller bet of $3.8 million, which looks completely abysmal from where we are sitting. I can't think of a reason he would commit so hard to such a weak hand other than a bad earlier read. Bendinelli with his quads doesn't really have anything to think about, other than baiting Guerrero and paying even more on this disaster of a hand. What do you think? Will he bet half the pot, or will he go crazy and shove all in? Let me know in the comments.
Put this to bed. Announces all in. Guerrero hasn't snap called. There's just no way. There's the call from Guerrero. It's over.
Tedeschi kicks things off with pocket queens. He is raised to 36,000, but he's up against McAllister, whose cards we don't know yet.
Philip McAllister calls out of a stack of 1.74 million.
Yeah, that's a lot of dimp.
Rabba comes in from the big blind, so a three-way to the flop.
Jaya Rabba.
And that flop is Queen 8-4 with 2 clubs. Looks like Rabba has checked to the razor.
Makes sense.
Tedeschi's pocket queens just flopped top set on a pretty dry board. It's a dream scenario for him, but McAllister and Rabba could easily have flush or straight draws since they just called pre-flop. So he's probably going to look for a value bet here.
It's been checked to McAllister. And I've been impressed by what we've seen from this guy today.
Pose.
Really?
It supposedly means you're comfortable. A lot of poker players sit like that.
So the bet from McAllister is 48k.
Rabba doesn't look like he's gonna fold here. We don't know if he's drawing or if he actually has a piece of the board. But after Tedeschi checked on the flop, he might raise and try to scare him off.
Rabba calls. Monsieur Tedeschi.
I think it's Paul Tedeschi, actually.
Tedeschi's in an interesting spot here. He's confident his hand is strong, but Rabba's call indicates some kind of draw or a strong pair. He's probably wondering if Rabba's just trying to see the turn cheaply or if he's setting up a move. It's a tricky decision. Does he bet for value, or does he just call and allow these two bad boys to potentially bluff on the turn?
That's a call as well. We're still three-way as we go to the turn. Yeah, Jack of Hearts on the turn. Rabba checks. And I think that was a check from Tedeschi, yep.
He's gone from the one arm on one shoulder to 2 arms on 2 shoulders. The old water slide pose.
Philip McAllister bets again, 136,000.
This could be a potentially huge pot.
Especially as it looks like he's calling. He's raised all in.
McAllister just called. He flats the all in. But look at the price he's getting.
Cool. Okay, well.
Does call.
No one has a pot-sized bet left behind now.
Good point.
The river brings the ace of hearts and Raba's looking down at the board, still not knowing the strength of Tedeschi's hand. He could be holding a decent pair or even a straight, but the ace definitely changes the dynamic. Does he believe Tedeschi has a hand like two pair, or is he worried about a potential set or a straight? The ace might just be the card Raba needs to bluff at this pot and try to steal it.
Do these two just check it down? No, they don't. He bets 300.
Actually competing for the main pot of 1.4 million. And now, McAllister moves all in.
How does everyone have a hand here?
I have no idea. Baffling the way this hand is played out. That's a call.
No, it's a fold.
Yes.
And he likes what he sees.
No, King 10 clubs.
King 10 of hearts for a royal flush.
It is a royal, and look at that, Tedeschi did have a set of queens. What a terrible, disgusting run out for what is going to be the best hand almost always.
This was a nasty royal flush poker river cooler.